Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, price of cable TVs going up again. Spectrum has announced a second price hike on its TV packages in the last 12 months. We'll break down what's happening there. Also, Amazon's cracking down on piracy apps. We'll tell you how that's coming and what you need to know about that with Fire TVs. And Walmart has a new way to try to compete with Amazon. Cord cutters are part of it, but also stores you can't visit. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to it. Every story I talk about there, so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you like what we do here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows that you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. Spectrum is raising the price of both internet for legacy internet customers and many of its TV packages. Now with this, if you're on a legacy Spectrum internet package, those older plans, not the newer ones, you're going to see a $2 per month price hike starting in July. Now, TV customers that will be seeing on select TV packages a $5 a month price hike with this. This comes after we saw a price hike back in January as they continue to raise the prices. The Spectrum has kind of come up with a model that seems to be, instead of doing one big one, right? We saw YouTube TV go up $10. Well, instead of doing a $10 price hike, hey, let's spread it out across several smaller price hikes where the price hikes will be more frequent, but not quite as jarring in the price. And that seems to be a big part of Spectrum's strategy here. I'll be very interested to see how this plays out, right? Do customers get less upset because they don't notice it as often because these are small price hikes? Or is the continued price hikes of just continuously, every few months, price hike, going to get to the customers and make them leave cable TV even faster? Spectrum is now the largest provider of TV in the United States. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the years to come, but Spectrum is definitely continuing to raise prices on their customers. Let me know, have you been hit with a price hike? What was your breaking point with these prices? Leave me a comment and let me know. All right, Amazon is cracking down on piracy. Now, there's a lot of confusing reasons behind this, but AFTV News, Elias over there, spotted that several apps that were well known for piracy were being blocked, which means even if you had it already installed, if Amazon detected these apps, it would disable the apps and remove them from your device with it. Now, they argue it was potentially a privacy concern, that these apps may have been stealing personal information from you. Is one of the warnings. AFTV News is not certain if that's the real case or not. But with this, Amazon's continuing to crack down on these. There's a lot of questions. Amazon's building their own OS. Currently, Fire TVs run on Android. This is basically a custom launcher sitting on top of Android, no different than what's running on Google TV streaming players. There's definitely a lot of questions over what would happen in the future here, right? Are we going to see in this new custom Android or OS replacing Android the ability to sideload or not? A lot of people have speculated some of the reason Amazon wants to do this is to completely eliminate themselves as a piracy device, something that Fire TVs were known for a while, but they've increasingly been cracking down on it, making it harder for people to put piracy on there. Not impossible, just harder. And we'll see how it plays out. But for now, Amazon cracking down on some piracy apps with this. All right, Walmart and Amazon in our next story up have been fighting back and forth for a long time for your dollars. Walmart really wants to be the next biggest online platform to buy and sell. They really want to expand there. They're doing very good physical business, but they're really targeting Amazon's dominance in online retail. And they've been doing a good job of chipping away at it. Now they are launching so-called dark stores to help with this. This comes as Amazon's increasingly, and Walmart I should say, are increasingly fighting back and forth to try to be your home here. Amazon offers a feature to Prime, Walmart copies it. Walmart offers discounted gas, Amazon copies it. Amazon has Prime Video, Walmart gets Paramount Plus. This goes on and on. But Amazon's big thing has always been speed of delivery. They've been really working on that. Walmart has had an advantage for a while because they have so many stores locally they can go off of. Now they're looking to expand that by building full Walmart stores where no customers can go. These will be online retail only stores where they'll stock the most popular items that people buy from Walmart and then put them into their stores. From there, customers will be able to order and get deliveries from these so-called dark stores. Currently being tested in just a handful of places around the country, but these new dark stores are probably a big way to the future. Walmart tested some small pickup-only locations, and those did not go far, but now they are switching that to now focus on these dark stores, which is more about delivery to your home. Being tested in Dallas, Texas, and Bentonville, Arkansas. With that, these two test markets will likely determine if this rolls out across the country. Look for more and more these kind of things happening. We see Amazon doing this a lot. Amazon actually just bought a mall where they plan to use it as a hub. A lot of vacant mall corner stores, those old closed Sears or JCPenney's or wherever, have also been converted into distribution centers because they're well placed inside convenient locations for the area, often right off major highways. We'll see what happens here, but Walmart and Amazon want to dominate the world. They're being very aggressive in it. We'll see how it goes. Are you on more Walmart or Amazon team, or neither? Which team are you more a part of? All right. Next story up. Over the weekend, I did a video showing YouTube TV's new build your own multi-view option. Now with this, YouTube TV allows customers to build your own multi-view from a selection of channels. If you want to learn more about this, I have a video. Check out the show notes down below where you can watch a step-by-step guide on how to do that. But if you want to quick overview of it, here's a quick breakdown. So now with it on Roku and many other devices, when you launch a channel that supports multi-view and you click on multi-view, it will show you a selection of pre-selected, pre-built multi-views. But at the top, you can now custom build your own. When you select that, all the channels that support multi-view are there, including things like TNT, news from like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, weather, local channels, and sports channels are all there, including some like TNT, TBS, Bravo, and others included. And you can build anywhere from 2 to 4 channels at once on your television. Pretty nice feature. Check out the show notes. I'll put a link to our story there where you can find a full video on how this works, so check it out. All right, South Park creators are threatening to sue the new Paramount CEO if the merger happens over streaming deals. They are very upset. They believe that Skydance Media, which is parent company is Redbird Capital, they're interfering with negotiations over South Park. Now, South Park streaming deals are coming up for with Max. Warner Brothers Discovery secured rights to South Park to HBO Max, and now those deals are coming to an end. This has been a very contentious relationship. Lawsuits are going back and forth already over this, over Paramount saying that, this deal only covered TV episodes, not specials. Specials would go to Paramount Plus. Max saying, no, all of South Park content should be on Max. You get the idea. Now, they are the creators here are arguing that basically the Skydance here is interfering in their talks that could potentially sink billions of dollars worth of revenue for South Park through a new potential streaming deal. We'll see what happens. For now, it's just threats back and forth. But this kind of gives you an idea how important some of these big name shows are. We talk about this a lot, right? Things like The Office, For My Family, King of the Hill, Simpsons, and others are shows people watch over and over and over again, South Park being another one. And having that on your streaming service allows you to attract people who, hey, I'm a South Park, I'm a King of the Hill, I'm a Simpsons fan. The Office, Friends, and many other shows get rewatched and rewatched and rewatched to the point where they're worth billions of dollars to these networks. Of course, Paramount would love to get that back on Paramount Plus. I'm sure Skydance, if they get this merger and take over, would too. Of course, Max wants to keep it. We'll see how it plays out. All right, let's keep moving along. One of the services for free local television is shutting down. View It TV is going to be merging into Zim, however you say it. I always butcher that. People always try to explain, I always say it wrong. But they're both owned by the same parent company. They both do the same thing. the new one kind of has a new, better user interface, better layout with this. Now, with this though, both View It and Zim has been playing there. Now they're both going to merge into a single service instead of both running independent. On July 4th, 2025, View It TV, which allowed you to watch local news from ABC, NBC, Fox affiliates across the country, will shut down and be merged over. So check that out. You're encouraged to move to the new app, download Zim, available on Fire TVs, Roku's, and other devices. All right, YouTube Premium members can get NFL Sunday Ticket at a big discount. If you're looking for a great deal, you can get NFL Sunday Ticket for just $192 in your first year for new NFL Sunday Ticket customers only who also happen to have YouTube Premium and YouTube TV, or just get it through YouTube at another discount price. Check out link in the show notes if you want to learn more, but $192 for an entire season of NFL Sunday Ticket. Not that bad of a deal. Check it out. Link in the show notes down below. And lastly, we talked a little bit about a month ago. It was reported that Dish was preparing for bankruptcy because the FCC was looking at maybe pulling back the spectrum they had rights to. To help prevent that from happening, there was discussion about bankruptcy because then they would receive protection from the bankruptcy court from that contract being terminated. Well, then President Trump came in and voiced support for a deal to be struck to allow Dish to retain its spectrum and not have the FCC pull it back. That saw its ratings, or its stock market rank skyrocket. Now with this though, Dish had deliberately skipped some multi-million-dollar payments for interest, $77.5 million and a $36.875 million interest payments that are due on July 1st, or fully due in July 2026 and 2028 notes. They were due for a monthly payment, they skipped it. Now they have officially said they will make payment in the 30-day grace period that would have avoided bankruptcy. Today would have been the day, I believe, if I understand the numbers right, or tomorrow, one or the other, that would have resulted if they hadn't made that payment to declare bankruptcy. And now it seems like they're going to make the payment to deliberately avoid bankruptcy for now. A lot of people still speculate that Dish will eventually have to do bankruptcy just because they don't have the cash to finish. Dish still feels like they're going to find a way to make it possible to finish building out their 5G network, meet all the FCC requirements without declaring bankruptcy. We'll see which one's true, but Dish is definitely hovering right on the edge of bankruptcy and trying to navigate a very narrow path to avoid it and still keep their business running as is. We'll keep an eye on this, but for now, no bankruptcy over at Dish and Sling TV for the moment being. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.